Well, it seems the scalpers are at it again. Hey, I'm the Nerdy Attorney. Thanks for stopping by. We're here to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do everything you can to let the algorithm know you like this content and you want to see more. Now, I've been dying to talk about Magic the Gathering's Ninja Turtles. I've been a little busy in my personal life and now excited to get back to commenting on the markets as it stands today. My big point for today is I cannot believe that the scalpers did not learn their lesson yet. So far, it's a little unproven. Only one has been sold at $1,500 for a collector booster box of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right now. Now, I typically don't use words like scalpers because I don't like lumping people into one collective group based off of a title. But when you're buying these sets before we even know what's in them, with only a little bit of information coming out at up to $1,500 a box, there's nothing to call that but speculation. So I do apologize for the more dramatic language here. This just seemed to fit in the moment and captures what I'm talking about. Now, we know the beginning of this craze started with Final Fantasy. This product took the market by storm. It brought in a lot of outside money to Magic the Gathering from gamers who just enjoyed the game Final Fantasy, but then also apparently from Pokemon and places like that. But when you look at the price here, we see as spoilers began to come out, the price skyrocketed way beyond any reasonable pre-release price to $1,200, and it continued going up and up and up after release until we've stabilized now at around $1,200 per box. And these are selling multiple per day at this around $1,200 price when you include tax and shipping. So, scalpers are hoping that they can replicate the same sort of excitement that Final Fantasy had with this new set. However, I was hoping that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles wouldn't fall prey to the same issue because of the cleansing fire that has been Marvel's Spider-Man in Magic the Gathering. Right now, the price is sitting at $443, which is a little bit below the $450 MSRP, as people are trying to offload the massive Spider-Man bags that they have. When this reached the top of almost over $1,000, it's not showing on this chart. I believe it cracked 1,000 at one point, but very briefly during pre-order, and ever since release, when people saw how low the hit rates were in Spider-Man, the prices dropped. Now, people are still buying these boxes at this price. It seems $450 the market is a little bit more tolerant about as actual consumers, and likely not bots, go ahead and buy this product. I was hopeful, though, that this, quote, crash of Spider-Man, which is really just a market correction back to MSRP, where these cards should be on release. I've said it once, I'll say it again. When these sets come out, they should be MSRP. We need to open them, play with them, see how the power is, see what the hit rates are, to determine whether or not they would justify a very high price upon release, like is happening with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We barely even know what's in these sets right now, and yet still, we have speculation up to $1,200 on pre-sale. Now again, this is slightly different than Spider-Man. Not that many have been sold yet, but it's worth commenting on because clearly there's an attempt to replicate the hype that Final Fantasy had during the pre-order cycle, which failed in Spider-Man. It's unclear how big the bags are of people in Spider-Man, but when you only have one bought at $1,500 already, I can almost guarantee you're not going to make the money back there. That's just a crazy move, and who knows if the hype is going to be able to match that kind of price. So speaking of which, let's see what's actually on TCG listed here for the cards. I mean, the most expensive card here individually is $60, Super Shredder. There's only 2 listed right now, 3 have sold. Let's see what the prices were when they went for $60 per card. Now, very rarely does any set, even a Universes Beyond set, for the basic treatment of a card, maintain a $60 price point for a mythic. I mean, look at Mox Jasper, back from Dragonstorm Tarkir. Even in the special showcase treatment, Mox Jasper has settled down at $15, and that was a mythic. It was very, very sought after when it came out and had a ridiculous starting price of $1,900 on pre-order. Keep in mind, when it came out, it started to plummet more and more. We thought it was settling around $40 on release, and it's now worked its way down all the way to $14 for a showcase treatment of the Mox Jasper. Comparing that to what we see here with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it seems highly improbable that this Super Shredder is going to be able to maintain a $60 price point. So why are the prices going so high for this? This is going to be a $15 mythic if I am going to place my bet on it. Super Shredder, one of the black legendary creature, menace whenever another permanent leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Super Shredder. I mean, this ability exists in other cards. It's great that any permanent leaves the battlefield, so maybe tokens can have this. This might be a really cool tokens deck, but in black, you're not getting that much token synergy. So, you know, there's definitely something to be gained here in certain kinds of decks, but this does not strike me as a $60 card after release, certainly not. Let's see what else they actually have on display now. We see a borderless Splinter here, $45. This right here, these new special gold treatment, who knows if this is going to be the borderless treatment of the Soul Stone, impossible to reach. Is it the Thanos Soul Stone? Is it a Spider-Man costume? What kind of pull rates can we expect for these kinds of cards? Right here, none are available. We just know this is a treatment that will be coming out. Does this gold stamp treatment justify a $1,400 price point for these boxes on release? I personally don't think so. The other thing we have is a new product called a Team Up Turtles box. This is the Turtle Team Up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles box from Magic, and apparently it's a 2 to 4 player co-op game. Probably similar to like the Clue, when we had Ravnica come out, that Clue set that they released. It's Hasbro really trying to blend in some of their board game style salesmanship and Magic the Gathering card collecting. So this is a weird thing to be at $137. I'm not sure what MSRP is, but looking at the box and seeing what it's like, let's look at what's inside. 4 60-card Magic decks, 1 enemy deck with 11 bosses, 17 event cards. So look, there's a lot of cards in here. This might be an MSRP of $60, $70 for people to be able to jump into Magic. And frankly, if this kind of product works to bring people in, I'm here for it. But gouging it to $137 already just seems nuts. Let's see how many of these have actually sold. Many actually listed right now. Only 3 have sold at $140 a few days ago and no movement since. So hopefully that means the speculators are not biting on this. Hopefully that means we're not going to see a replication of this chart here with absurd speculation and people getting bummed about Spider-Man's availability before it even comes out, only for it to, quote, collapse back to MSRP. This chart is a very good chart in my mind, and I'm hoping it will protect against this kind of shenanigans, but clearly there are still attempts being made. So if I had to make a prediction, I would say in 3 or 4 weeks from now, we're going to be looking at this price point dropping lower and lower as more become available, because this is just a crazy price to start right off the bat. I mean, they're asking for Final Fantasy pricing, when Final Fantasy we know has surge foils in it that have maintained their value fairly well. It has the golden chocobo, it has regular neon ink chocobos that are very hard to pull and still commanding $2,000 to $3,000 per card. So there is a different paradigm here with Final Fantasy that I just don't think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is going to keep up with. Now, additionally, I am excited to note and announce, if you haven't seen already, there is a Commander deck for this, and I've missed Commander decks dearly. Apparently, Gavin commented that the Magic the Gathering community at large was complaining about too many products, and so they said, fine, we'll cut some Commander decks. I don't think anybody was complaining about the Commander decks. I enjoy the Commander decks. I like to see what comes out, see the new gameplay mechanics on display, and especially in the lead up to the marketing for these, I enjoy watching the Command Zone play the precons and see who's going to win. I like seeing even Gavin play the precons and seeing which one he chooses out of the 4. I remember when Commander Masters came out, I was shocked to see that he chose the Onyxia Spellslinger deck with the enchantments as compared to the Slivers or the Eldrazi deck. And he said, basically, if you know what you're doing, the Onyxia is the most powerful of them all. And at that time, it was the cheapest of them, maybe the second cheapest, as the Eldrazi and the Sliver deck commanded the most premium price. So this is just a quick update video. It's basically to mark in time where we are in the market with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a looking back point for future retrospectives on what is happening with this set. So a quick video, let me know below, what do you think about a $1,200 Teenage Mutant Ninja Collector Booster box already? Are you going to pre-order one of these? Do you think it's going to justify that cost? What are you excited for in this set? I was shocked to see the amount of positive response to the IP of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles being crossed over into Magic. It does feel like a bit of a stretch, but even looking at the cards, I hate to say it, when you look at something like Shredder, it definitely does feel like Kamigawa a little bit. I feel like they're taking inspiration from a Kamigawa place, even these neon bits of graffiti in the background, the way that it's a rat, of course, very reminiscent of a lot of like Nashi, things like that from Kamigawa. So this might actually slot into the ethos and the aesthetic of Magic better than even I was anticipating, because look, I like the show, I enjoyed watching it, but I have no deep sort of connection to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Avatar, I'm certainly more nostalgic of and excited for that, but you know, these might actually look okay on the table compared to other cards on the table. With that said, what do you think about this crossover? Does it make sense to you? And we'll touch base in the next video once we see what happens with this price as more spoilers come out and Avatar tests whether or not the price point of Spider-Man is going to stick or Final Fantasy is going to stick. I think Avatar sales are going to be instructive for what happens with this box, but we'll have to wait and see what happens next. I'm the Nerdy Attorney, and hey, if you like this, you can check out some of my other videos here and here. Thanks for watching, be awesome to each other, play paper magic with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.